Definitely gonna take this to Taco Bell.
That right there is my friend Gray specking out his brand new Aston Martin Valkyrie. If you guys have been following along my content, you've definitely seen Gray before, and you know that he is a racing driver and he drives for his team, the Heart of Racing. We previously just got to see a tour of their racing facilities in Arizona, and we got to check out their Aston Martin Valkyrie AMR Pro race car when it was fully taken apart. Now, they actually took delivery of the very first Valkyrie AMR Pro race car in the entire United States, and they've had it for quite some time now, but they are also getting one of 150 road car coupes, and Gray himself gets to be 100% in charge of the specking process of this car. So before they gave Aston Martin the green light to fully send their car in for production, Gray wanted to have a trip all the way out to England to show them in person some of his ideas for the spec and also get to see other Valkyrie road cars in person. And kindly enough, he gave me the invite to come along with. So that is what this video is about, and you guys will get to come with me to check out what an in-depth process is to be a Valkyrie customer purchasing your brand new car. We just got off the plane, landed here at London Heathrow, 8 hours ahead of Seattle time. It is a brand new day, and there is a Gray Newell somewhere in this country. So I gotta go find him because he's the only reason why I'm here. And with that, that means we gotta get ourselves a ride from the airport to our hotel. It's funny, I posted a couple stories of my journey over here, and I actually got hit up by someone that is willing to give me a ride. I didn't even know I had connections and friends out in this area, but you guys will see who it is in a second. Oh, baby. Did not expect to be picked up in a Porsche of all things here. This is perfect. Yeah. I guess introduction. I mean, you got to do the intro. You got to do your signature intro.
Hello, it is I.
Exactly. Yeah. We have Ewan right here. I'm not even going to bother the last name. He is, yeah, surprise picking me up and taking me to my hotel. And I didn't even process that I sit on the wrong side of the car. Yeah, basically, I'm in Japan now. This is a treat. And for viewers who don't know, this is also what Forza videos can get you as well.
Yeah, well, your first car was a Focus RS. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, that is crazy for being a first. But I'm just so proud to see that you now have a Porsche badge.
Yeah.
Right there. I mean, at the end of the day, no matter what has come from our Forza mischiefs, this is the best thing that can result out of any of it. We have a little bit of a road trip up ahead. Yeah. What is that? That's about
2 hours.
Ooh. So everywhere I've noticed, you seem to have a like almost doubled calculation.
Yeah.
Is that just for traffic and like not taking toll routes and stuff?
It's for the low emission zone.
Oh.
Because some cars are old and can't go through there.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
This car does.
So we actually, yeah, we're going on a road trip even bigger than what map says. It says 1 hour 21, but yeah, we're going 2 hour road trip. Gotta get the door clearance over here. So, do we clear? Uh-huh. Wait, how are you gonna get in now? So, you know what immediately I noticed why this is an issue? Is because your steering wheel is on the wrong side of the car. Because when we get gas in the States, you don't have to worry about freaking having the gas pump right next to you.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I think that is a petrol flaw right there. Maybe you just need to have your doors go up. Getting dropped off at the nice countryside resort. This definitely beats a Prius. That could have been my Uber. This is a lot nicer. All right, well, thank you so much as always. This was very unexpected. I've never met this man before. Yes. But we've played Forza like once. And so we'll have to play Forza more often. I found my Gray in Greytown over here.
It's very great.
And you found yourself an R8.
Yeah.
And that's owned by this man right over here.
Hey.
Why don't you show us around a little bit? Because it's got something special right in the middle, doesn't it?
So beige interior and then the manual.
Yeah.
First gen manual, gated manual.
Dude, I don't know what's weirder for me is, obviously I didn't have a stick in my Gen 1, but also having the steering wheel on the other side of the car. Yes. That's super trippy.
Jack has a right-hand drive GTR.
Oh.
Yeah, well,
okay.
They all were, because I don't think they ever made left-hand drive ones.
Really?
The Skyline GTRs.
Yeah,
it's a 32.
Oh, it's a 32. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah. I love the color combo with the yellow calipers and everything. And Yeah, no, beige interior is like weird for an R8. I feel like they're
I've not
black
seen
everywhere.
many. And also, like, this is not representative of the market. The market is mostly white R8s with black interiors.
Yeah.
Black calipers, they're never coloured.
Yeah.
Also, most of them don't have the carbon blade or the Bang & Olufsen speakers as well. So
Oh, really?
yeah. So
Those are like the two musts. Those are the two most
They
important things of the
definitely
car. Oh. Small, tiny roads with an R8. An R8's definitely like, I mean, it's not as big as a Lambo or a couple other things, but it's also not small. And this is definitely a pretty big car for these tiny roads, I would say.
It is.
Yeah, when I see roads this small, my first thought is, one, I could definitely never drive my Raptor out here, but two, I feel like the front end collision rate just has to be that much higher when you have that less room for error. Pulling up to restricted Aston Martin factory territory out here. Oh, this is beautiful. They even got their badge posted up right on that piece. Yeah, I think you're gonna be a little outnumbered by Aston Martins.
Oh my God, look at these. These look amazing.
This is so grand. Welcome to Aston Martin, and we will be greeted with none other than the Valkyrie Spider itself. Gray's already getting carried away. He's sitting in the new DB12 over there. Before we get into anything, I feel like this car needs an introduction to at least my audience, because when this thing, the regular Valkyrie, debuted back all the way in 2016. It's crazy to think this car is almost 10 years old already, just because that's how far back it was revealed. I, and probably many other people, saw it as just Aston Martin's latest hypercar, along with the mix of all the other current gen hypercars with the Mercedes AMG Project One, the Apollo IE, a Pagani Huayra, anything. But this car is in an entire league of its own. And to explain that, we kind of have to go back to our ABCs. And basically, when I say fastest car, there's a lot of different variants of that. There's straight line speed. But I think the epitome of what makes a car or a race car a car is obviously cornering or whatever. So if you were to ask what is the fastest form of a race car, it is a Formula One car. That is the epitome of automotive engineering, motorsports, quickest thing that could go around a track possible. One of the developers of some of the best Formula One cars from Red Bull, Adrian Newey, he makes Formula One cars for a living and he's the best at it. So he was like, what if we made a Formula One road car? A Formula One car with 2 seats, literally designed to do one thing only, and that is to be literally the fastest car it could possibly be, but we're gonna make a decent amount, and by a decent amount, at least 150 units. We're gonna sell them to the public, regular people that, as long as they have enough money, you know, and they could afford it, they're gonna be able to drive it. And that's what this is. And if you could just kind of look at it in a different way than most other hypercars, which are just really high-end cars that just take a lot of high-end materials or power and just, you know, smash it all together. But as far as what they're designed to do, they're designed to do a whole bunch of different things, whether it be a good daily driver or be a really fast straight line car or whatever. This car is designed specifically to literally be the quickest around a track with just having 2 seats and it being road legal. That's what the Valkyrie is, and that's why I really wanted to explain that this car, to me, you have all the hypercars that are out there right now down here. This car is way up there. This car is something else. And when you see it in person, you'll also immediately be able to recognize that. The amount of negative space that is all throughout this car, just right here in this entire front splitter. I mean, look at that. There are ducts on ducts, and you could also see how this front splitter is basically taken off of a Formula One car. More negative space. You have the suspension components, the arms that are literally wings. These provide downforce to the car itself. There's no other car I could think of besides a Formula One car or other high-end race cars that literally have their suspension giving them downforce. This car is the epitome of less is more, in that I can stick my arm all the way through here, all the way into there. You have like 4 beautiful hips that make up the whole body of the thing, and then you just have the diffuser, which you could stick your leg all the way down in there as well. It's truly a sight to see in person. It truly, to me, is way more beautiful than any other hypercar that's currently out there. And I'm just honored to be here while Gray and them happens to be getting their very own road car. And of course, with something that's this beautiful, you have to do it justice with your specification. And it's kind of a tough car because it is so purely engineering focused. So it's clearly a race car with a lot of bits that have to be structurally functional to their own ways. And so you would think you're very limited on how you can make it beautiful beyond that with certain colors and bits and pieces. But you'd be surprised. The customization levels beyond here are pretty endless with what Aston Martin offers. So that's why Gray has brought us here in person to have a good conversation with them about that. But this is the convertible. So they have 85 convertibles that they're going to make, and then 150 coupes. Gray is going to be getting a coupe, but it's also just wild to see the fact that they are also willing to have a spider come out of all of this. And yeah, definitely going to get really close and cozy with your mate in there. We'll see someone of my height. How my head.
How tall are you?
Is 6'2".
That's a shame.
Yeah.
See how it's... Yeah. I think like you were saying, a lot of my height could be like in my legs, and this car has almost infinite room for where your legs can go. So at this point, it's not like my height doesn't really actually become much of an issue.
Oh yeah.
The roof of this car, the highest point, and the snorkel right up there, literally goes to just the side mirror on the DB12.
So it's lower than this, that's for sure.
That's wild. And this is only something that you can really understand in person. This car basically goes up to your average person's waist. You sit so low in this car that when you're driving it, what you see out of it is the top of the tire. If that's not the coolest thing, I don't know what is. So what has the purchasing process been like for one of these? What would be like the first thing you would do if someone was actually interested? Aside from the fact that I'm sure all of them have been sold out already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a better question for him.
Yeah.
There was a huge amount of interest over a period of time where, obviously for us, we want to sell all the cars, but we want to also try and sell them to the right people. So people who are committed, who are in love with the project and the idea, who'll keep the car. And there's a mix for us because, you know, I think Aston Martin's 111 years old. So the only way we've continued to be relevant and kept growing is with projects like this, also bringing people that are new to Aston Martin into the project. So as much as there was a level of we need the biography in the background of cars and who the person is, there'd be a group that were very much part of the Aston family, and there were people who were new to the family as well, where that was part of the process as well. So there was an element of the selection from the start, and for us we work on a nice spread across the world as well, so we don't want all the cars in one place.
Yeah.
But that's why it was kind of centrally managed here, but worked with all of the dealer partners around the world, all of the regions that we have. But yeah, it was a fairly quick process at the start of both the coupe as well as this and the AMR Pro. So, but coupe particularly, I think that was an interesting time. There were many multiples of how many cars is how many people we had. So trying to
Scale it down.
find the right route was quite an interesting one.
So there is the specification room inside. This is like super sci-fi, full-on mirror, hidden room. It's basically like an invisible room, and that's the lounge where Gray will be speccing out the car. I love all the different samples that you guys have back here, and I love how you guys utilize the two arguably peak Aston Martins to represent them with the 177 and the Valkyrie.
That carbon that I was telling you about,
So
Jack.
the split.
Oh.
Both of those are the same.
Oh, wow.
One split gloss and
It's hard to capture this on camera. But yeah, so you have dry and then wet on the other.
So this is like their take on forged carbon.
It's a lot better, I would say.
Yeah.
Are these the hairline badges?
I guess that's the one, probably the one we'll have.
Yeah, so be really obviously gentle with them because they have shit.
Oh, I didn't even think you could pick it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
not many times before it goes wrong.
Yeah.
So-
Wow. That is so
but you can see
delicate.
how delicate it is, how light it is,
That is
how thin it is.
incredible.
Do you feel any weight?
It's like on a feather, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
that's-
the wings. It's the wings.
This
of the scarab.
this literally feels like if you could like hold a butterfly's wings, I'd imagine it's
Alright,
that fragile.
Take it away from me before I take it.
That's ridiculous. So can you also customize that color that goes within these badges, or?
So these are our sort of core car badges, but no. So,
Okay.
So we're quite protected.
yes, very protected.
Not surprising. There is some level of changeability. So the red one was for a previous Zagato project.
Ah.
And the black tended to be for the higher performance core sports cars. And then the green tended, which you'll see on the other cars, tends to be our core wingspan.
Yeah.
So that's actually our previous
That's cool.
generation design.
Yeah.
We've recently re-changed the brand, and so the badges look a little bit different. But
Gotcha.
yeah, there are some things that we won't do based on there are kind of core.
Yeah.
Our core design elements.
Are you in between these two?
Yeah, right now, and then I have the original, yeah. So this was, we've gone back and forth a bunch of times on the paint color, and I'm just kind of giving my rudimentary, I think that this might be moving in the right direction. This was the actual paint team saying, okay, we think we know what you want, we're going to go and try and recreate it, and then this is the gold accents that we're looking at.
Wow.
That is really beautiful.
Yeah, this is definitely way more like
Yeah,
bold,
it's really interesting.
and then this is more classy, I would say.
You see how it changes on
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
curve. So the big wheel arches, things like that, you'd see the highlight, but
Yeah.
you'd see a lot of blue as well because of the way it curves away from you.
That's really interesting.
So what Stuart's done is he's taken both these paint samples and scanned them into
Okay.
a fancy bit of software.
Perfect.
So we can actually show you both of the paints on the screen.
Perfect.
Obviously, you have to take into account the calibration of the screen,
Yeah, of course,
etc.
of
You've
course.
got the real paints in front of you, but it will just give you an idea of how it looks, how both of them look across the whole car.
So just putting a light on there, I mean, it's a little bit crude sort of headlight, but obviously gives you a little bit of an idea of
With
just
a little
how it's
more-
going to come to light
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
get
yeah.
some sun on it.
Absolutely.
So the other one is the 16, which is the lighter.
Got it.
Yeah.
This is
So on the
You
back
flip
of them.
written on the. If you flip
Oh,
them
okay.
So 16 is the lighter one.
16.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's on there.
Okay, that's 14.
Yeah.
This looks quite.
I mean, the screen is not the best.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
More accurate,
that's why
but-
we've got these.
Yeah, exactly.
I was thinking with the gold, I wonder if it would look good if we went like a little more towards like a white gold to just pull some of the saturation back from the gold accents and give a little bit more back to the color of the car.
It was designed to actually, for us, it was actually designed to be the closest thing to the gold that we put on by hand, the
Gotcha.
hand applied gold leaf.
Okay, so it's
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
be
that
more like
strip
that.
there,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But without that patterning. So
Yeah.
it's actually, I think the other golds look quite artificial. I mean, for example, for me, as a layman, when you see this, these wheels don't have half of the shadow that you'll see in real
Yeah.
life,
Sure.
which will tone
Yeah.
the actual gold further down.
Could we throw the aero discs on?
Yep.
Real quick.
Yeah, so
We can
then
show you the track pad
convert
body.
track pad.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
I changed it up a lot.
Yeah, so
Wow.
obviously
They
there's
look
so
super
we'll
cool.
let Rob talk about the sort of design
Okay.
features on here because design have sort of really sort of look.
So for if we go up to kind of like a high or 3/4, okay, so how this kind of creates this border, it sort of looks like it's emerging from underneath the body color. So if we could go down a little bit, it would be interesting to have this gold where instead of it going down, it kind of goes up, where it's wider down here and then kind of goes up and then disappears up into the top of that. I think that would mirror how it kind of looks like it's emerging from the body color on the top side.
From just spectating this process alone, I can completely understand how it may take years to solidify your spec. Even though wheel finish, pinstriping, and your color may seem like easy things to decide on, you only have one shot to own a piece of automotive history, and you want to make that absolutely count. So Gray had countless suggestions and countless ideas, and it was cool to see everybody bounce things around to try and form a conclusion. So Gray, you'd say this is like 95%?
95, almost there. We're almost
This is
there.
what we've got.
Yeah.
So this is the track variant,
Yep.
which has the gills right there on the side.
Your GT3 RS skills, yep.
Yeah, and then you have your aero discs. The whole car just sits lower in this rendering, I notice.
Yeah, it's interesting. The car actually has a bunch of different suspension settings that are built into the computer. So when you have the track body on, it actually has a new setting for the suspension that will lower the car
sits
even
a lot
more,
lower.
yeah. And it changes, how that changes the spring rated speed and all that, because when you add more downforce, you have to go stiffer on the dampers to keep the platform, because the downforce will squish the car into the ground, right? So the dampers actually get stiffer and stiffer the faster the car goes to keep the platform the same.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the spring rates will have to change with the track body, because it does, I think, like double the downforce on the front axle.
So this is the street body, and you have a different side fender design, different wheel setup entirely. As far as the livery goes, you're basically kind of keeping it so they can go across both forms. Now, when you want to go in between the two, is that going to be like, that's entirely basically a whole front end that swaps through, right?
It's kind of the same as the AMR, right? Is it just a twist off with the front mounting point?
No, so this one, to change from your road car to your track car, it's got to come back to the shop. So I think it's
really?
yet to do the final simulation, but it's a good number of days. It's got to come back in to have that conversion. I think it's breaking of hydraulic lines. There's a lot of work to be done.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
The guess is it's conversion and then testing is 7 to 10 days. So
Interesting.
It's a big old step.
That makes sense why everyone that, even though they opted in for having a track variant, they've been just sticking with the street variant because, like you said, they get it delivered, they're enjoying it, they don't want to immediately just have to send it all the way back right immediately.
Definitely going to take this to Taco Bell.
That's going to be first place, right?
They'll wonder where I am. And I'll be like, hello, I'm down here.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if even a Happy Meal will fit through that window. That'll be tough.
Well, the door just goes straight up.
That's
so
true.
you
That's
open
true.
the door.
He'll have this gullwing door. All right, so we are leaving. Aston Martin was kind enough to give us goodie bags, even though we are not the ones purchasing a multi-million-dollar Valkyrie. But we were able to get an insider look at their factory where they are building Vantages and Valkyries, but unfortunately we were not able to film or showcase any of it just due to customer-specific cars. What did you think of it all?
Oh, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I didn't even realize how much of a life-changing treat it was, just because I have never been in any sort of big car manufacturer factory at all. Seeing just individual people sew seats together and then seeing a room where you have different stages of the Valkyrie being assembled is just absolutely remarkable. I wish I could have showed you guys, but you guys also got to see kind of an in-depth specification process of Gray's future car. So you just got the specification 95% through. When do you expect to actually be getting the car underway and rolled out of there?
I haven't really been like asking them about that, but I think that they said something like end of summer is when it'll be like in production.
Okay, and then production time. Production time usually is like, as far as what they
said, 7 weeks.
That's pretty wild. Yeah, because I feel like they would know that by now. But I mean, yeah, if it's out there within any time of like a year, that's actually still pretty impressive.
Yeah. I have to get the parking because I can see the guy right there. Yeah.
Gotta make sure the R8 doesn't get ticketed.
Yeah, so we have till 4.
Oh, is that the officer right over there?
Officer.
gotta
Well, do we
keep
want
away.
To go to the Royal Pug again?
There's only one way to get home if you came out here to purchase a brand new Valkyrie, and that is this. Man, this is like a lot for just us two. Oh, they even got a whole bed back there too.
Yeah, sure beats the shit out of Coach.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we have the winds on our side on our way back, and we could turn 9 hours into like 6.
Hello.
It's crazy how much of England is just that.
Yeah, right. There it is.
All,
England.
yeah, that's all you need to know, guys. And just like that, we've made it from one great place to another. Oh, we're good?
What am I doing?
Was it just open the whole time?
Yeah, I think it's just... I'm stupid. That was...
Oh well.